Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm going to talk to you about a bike that I almost made $1,000 on. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler, aka the Aquaman, aka the Asian Warlord, aka you comment down below. Maybe you'll be on the next video with your comment. Anyways, in this video we're going to talk about how I made almost $1,000 on this one bike flip. Pretty much a speculation flip, but anyways, I want to kind of elaborate on that because I've had a couple questions about it. If you tuned into the ride-along video yesterday, I sold a bike last Saturday, for $980 profit, and that bike you barely see in the video just for a second, so I'm going to explain a little bit more about that flip today. Hopefully it can inspire you to think differently and maybe eventually do a speculation flip like that one as well. Speculation flips are one of those things that you have to be an expert kind of in the category, or semi-expert, or have to at least have an intense appreciation for pop culture or sports retro culture, things like that, to do a good speculation flip. And a speculation flip is something that you speculate will be worth more money later, but you're gonna have to hold on to it for a little bit and probably not use it very much or not use it at all. So basically what I wanna get to is that this flip is not typical whatsoever. It just happens once every now and then. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you also about another speculation flip that I'm currently in as well. And as I'm talking about this bike, think about other genres that this can apply to as well, such as shoes, reissue skateboard decks, things like that, all kinds of stuff, even reissue toys. 80s and 90s was an amazing time to live in, and there were just certain things from back then that they're reproducing now, and there are certain variants that never existed back then that they're reproducing now into like variants that never existed. It's kind of hard to explain, but you're gonna see when we talk about this bike how that kind of plays in. All right, so what's the item that I flipped? It's a 2014 Haro Master Freestyler, and it's a Master Tribute 26-inch freestyler. By now you've seen the pictures on the video. Yeah, it had 26-inch wheels. It was a steel frame, chromoly steel frame. It was a single speed, obviously BMXs are single speed. It was produced in 2014, which was very significant because it was a commemorative edition 3 decades later from 1984, which is the famed like Haro Freestyler 20-inch model that was just, you know, being used by like all these pros and everything like that. It was just the epitome of freestyle BMX culture back in the day. Well, anyways, Haro decided, and they're still around as a company, Haro decided to remake, all right, the Freestyler in a 20-inch model, a 24-inch model, and a 26-inch model. Now, the 20-inch model was all the rage back in the day. The 24-inch model, I'm not 100% sure if it even was available back in the day, and that was one of those variants that's only produced now in the current day. But the 26-inch model with the 26-inch wheels, which is like way more for adults, you know, that model never existed back in the day, right? So they basically took a really awesome bike from back in the day and they recreated it in its original form, and then they kind of blew it up, you know, to bigger sizes that never existed. So my speculation was that I was gonna buy the biggest model, and it would be cool. I would ride it around and I would sell it for more money later on. So a speculation play is one of those things where, you know, you see the importance of what the item is back in the day, and then they're reissuing it now, and then you see this a lot with skateboard decks and stuff, and there's something super significant about it, whether it be like the frame, the materials they're using, the artwork, you know, on skateboard decks, for example. I use skateboard decks because it's one of the more real examples that I can use out there, because it's just, skateboard culture back in the 80s was huge. Those guys were pioneers, you know, the whole Bones Brigade and everything like that. So the artwork back then in the day, you know, now carried to present day, and then elaboration artwork based upon that. There's all kinds of cool stuff that are reissues that are worth way more than the original reissue purchase price, but they were made in like the 2000s and now. So back to the bike, and here's what's interesting about it. Like in the green room, I actually put this post up right here saying I got into this bike for $679.99 with taxes and everything like that. It came out to $719.96 back in like October, November of 2014. That's when I ordered the bike and I got it to my house, and I disclosed it was a speculation flip. I think it's gonna be worth significantly more later on. And I posted this to the green room. I didn't post it to anybody else because it was just one of those things that was significant to the green room. If anyone wanted to, you know, if anyone wanted to copy me on that deal, they could. But yeah, fast forward to today. About 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, I was watching that Marie Kondo show on Netflix, and you know, there's a very big emphasis on if you're not using something all the time, or if you don't use it like every 6 months or a year, then like why even really possess it? I mean, it's cool to have things that you never had as a child, and you know, freestyle BMX was one of them for me. But at the same time, I started realizing like I don't want to own like a shelf queen type thing that I can't ride all the time with the fear of like breaking it or it rusting or dinged up or something like that. Like it just doesn't serve me any purpose. It's cool to look at it, but like who cares? After a while, like who cares? If I'm too scared to ride it all the time because it's gonna take away from the value, then I don't know why I need to own it. Then I put it on eBay for like $2,500. And I progressively started bringing it lower. And I also listed it locally for like $300 or $500 less, because locally is just one and done, you know? And so someone does call me locally like not too long ago, and they're like, look, I know that it's higher priced on eBay. I know it's locally priced like way lower. Can we work a deal? And so I said, you know, how about $1,700? And the person's like, absolutely, like it's a bike that I never had when I was a kid. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like everybody wants things that they never had when they were a kid. And the guy's like, I trust your opinion. It's in good condition. It looks awesome. It looks like it's in amazing condition. It's got all the stock wheels, tires, everything. Like there was nothing, not a single thing that I altered, because you're not really supposed to alter those kind of things. Speculation plays. It's like you don't ever want to, you know, put a different color marker on the Yeezys that you're wearing or the Off-Whites or something like that. If you speculate that it's gonna be worth way more money later, you probably don't even wanna wear shoes, for example. But the same thing goes for like skateboards. You wouldn't wanna put a sticker on it or anything like that. You probably wouldn't wanna ride around the deck, you know, at all, or even mount it, because there's a big market for super mint reissue stuff if you know how to speculate. So yeah, as disclosed before, don't do this unless you're proficient. But yeah, that bike sold for $1,700 locally. I was 719 into it, so I made 980 bucks, which was like awesome. Now I'm gonna talk to you about my next speculation, because I actually already bought it. It is another 26-inch Haro that they made only, I think it's this year. Anyways, Haro, if they had 100 orders minimum, they were gonna produce this one frame called the Bash Guard, right? It's a Bash Guard 26 Haro Master, all chrome, like super cool. I ordered one not too long ago. It's in my house, unbuilt, in the box, because I really don't want to build it and look at it and feel bad. So I put it in a box. My speculation is that that bike, which did cost $1,300 shipped to my door, is gonna have a chance of selling at $2,500 to $3,000, maybe 2 or 3 years from now. Something like that, maybe even sooner. It's hard because like there's a much tighter supply of this bike, I think. So yeah, the Bully Bash Guard was a really popular frame from back in the day. I have actually hustled a Bully Bash Guard frame plus wheels, plus crappy seat, plus crappy handlebars that weren't stock. But the frame was everything. I remember posting that on eBay and posting it locally back in the day, and someone locally wanted to buy it. So I sold for $400 locally. I think I had it posted on eBay for like 700 bucks. Man, people wanted me to send it to Greece. There's a couple other countries like UK. It turns out someone from San Antonio actually drove up to Austin, Texas to pick up this frame for me for $400. I had picked it up at a garage sale for $15. So I say they came up to pick up the frame. There were 2 mag wheels on it that were really cracked and really blown to hell, but the frame was intact and straight from the 80s, and yeah, 400 bucks. So there's really a lot of money in vintage BMX. That's just a known thing, right? But they're starting to do these reissues here and there. You gotta watch out for certain companies making really good ones, and then there's some companies back in the day that had great bikes back in the day that are making a ton of them, like GT. But there are certain companies like Mongoose that came out with like the KOS Cruiser like not too long ago, a reissue. Haro is making reissues of really, really popular bikes from back in the day. I think wild colors are cool to speculate on, and so are chrome, like straight chrome. You know, just like back in the day, like those are really cool too. So that's the story of the bike, like what it was. You know, when I owned it, I actually did ride it around here and there, but not a whole lot. You know, I was pretty afraid of it. I talked about my next speculation play and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, in full disclosure, you probably shouldn't do this, okay? Like only unless you're like an expert or semi-expert, or you have intense appreciation for something retro, sporting related, or retro culture, you know, things that were super popular back in the day that are being remade today in very limited quantities. Like, only do it if you understand that to the core. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope that answers your question for all the people that were like, oh, I need more information about that bike flip. That was awesome. You made almost $1,000 bucks on a bike. Like, what was it? Tell us about it. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.